Welcome back, everybody, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. If you have not seen this series up to this point, there's a link in the description that will take you all the way back to the beginning. As promised at the end of the last episode, we are in the process of reorganizing our armies with the corps system. The initial armies are actually set up as corps, so you have to create new armies. So we're in the process of creating the new Army of the Potomac, 65,000 strong, under 3 corps, each of which have 2 infantry divisions, an artillery division, and then some cavalry attached to them. And I'm working on doing the same with the armies out west, but we haven't actually finished that yet. And the problem is that I had to create the headquarters in a Union state, which means I had to create it in Kentucky. So now my armies are a little separated from their command. In fact, the Army of the Tennessee headquarters is all the way back up here in Covington, just outside of Cincinnati. And until we get their readiness up, we can't move them, which means Governor Warren's new 18th Corps is way up there, and it's going to take a while to get them back. So a bit of a setback to be able to do that. All right, so we're taking a look at where things stand, and British intervention's at 63%. Now, we can deal a crippling blow to that by issuing the Emancipation Proclamation. It'll increase support for the Union by 5, but it will also increase the Southern morale by 5. So I don't think we're at the place where we want to do that right now. I'm looking at the Confiscation Act. This allows us to confiscate Southern property. Supply efficiency of the armies operating in enemy states improves by 15%. That actually is something we could really use right now. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We finally got the 18th Corps moving south. And yes, I know I don't have 18 Corps, but I tried to go with Corps that were historically in the West, and 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. Those were Corps that were operating in those armies. We formed West Virginia, which means the Army of the Kanawha has taken Charleston, which means we now hold all of those cities needed to form West Virginia. Let's go ahead and try to get the Army of the Potomac's units a little closer together. Specifically thinking about the 3rd Corps here. I'm going to bring them down to Washington. We'll keep 2nd Corps under Wadsworth here in Winchester for the time being. I should probably put the Army of the Susquehanna in as one of the corps of that army. We're into late May now of 1862, and it's taking me this long just to get my armies reorganized. So I'm pulling the Army of the Ohio finally out. It disintegrated when it got to Nashville and reformed in Corinth, which was a bad place for it to reform, behind enemy supply line cut off. So you can see Hooker's taking massive losses. We're going to try to get both of those armies back up here. We're going to get the 2 Corps of the Army of the Tennessee reformed and ready to go under Grant, and then we're going to march on Nashville once all of that is set and ready to go. Looks like McClellan's in good shape here to where we could probably make a push into eastern Tennessee and relieve some of the pressure out west, because there's a lot of forces out west. There also aren't many right now in the east. He seems like he's really concentrated his forces in the west. I'm going to send Wool's 5th Corps at the Army of the Northwest, because they seem to be isolated with only about 20,000 men. The 5th Corps alone could definitely handle them, but I can move 1st Corps down as well as a reinforcing unit. We may just see the Army of the Northwest pull back. Nope, they're going to fight. All right, let's do it. So the Battle of Culpeper Courthouse is going to be fought on the Chancellorsville battlefield. This is not one we've had much experience with, so that's pretty cool. So it's just Wool's 5th Corps, and I'm going to start moving them up. This is going to be interesting because we're dealing with woods, pretty heavy woods. We do have to attack. We need to push down toward all these objectives. We've got a couple of different roads to do that. So I think we'll probably send different divisions down different roads, and we'll see who makes contact. I do have just 1 unit of cavalry to send out in advance. Let's go ahead and give them an evade order. That way, if they do make contact with anybody, they won't get stuck engaging. So we're on to day 2. So we didn't really get very far with our movement before we ran out of daylight on the first day. So I'm going to go ahead and reissue all my orders now that I've redeployed a little bit. We'll send Thomas's division up the middle. We're kind of dig in right along Hunting Run. But Francis Blair's Tar Heel boys are going to be making the wide run all the way around over to this side. This makes me a little nervous because they're going to be pretty cut off from the rest of the army. Okay, we've made our first sighting of the enemy. Just to kind of orient ourselves a little bit, I'll flip the map around. Here's Catherine Furnace, Hazel Grove. So the Union was historically dug in right in here around Chancellorsville. And Jackson makes his famous flanking attack down through past Catherine Furnace, past Hazel Grove, and out around over here and hitting the exposed flank over here around Wilderness Church. So it looks like the Rebs are somewhere in here, maybe back a little further, but we're still pretty spread out. Cadwallader's going to come in. We're going to have 2 divisions right here, and then the 3rd division down here around Hazel Grove. It looks like they're about to send their men at my cavalry. I'm going to see if I can hit this battery before his infantry comes up. Although these guys have an evade order, so I don't know if they'll get that close. But it'd be nice if I can mess up this battery. Now they're not going to do it because they're going to evade. Alright, let's pull them back. Alright, Blair, let's get into a single line. And we'll dig in right along this right side, and then we'll have to swing around with the rest of our army. Alright, we're going to start watching the Confederates make their move now. I've got cavalry way out here on the flank. I've got Cadwallader on the left with skirmishers deployed. We've got George Thomas holding the center with skirmishers deployed. We've got 3 batteries of artillery. Actually, they're more than batteries. They're 15 guns, 13 guns, and 16 guns. So they're almost like multiple batteries each. But he's pulling back because he knows he can defend. Where are the other objective points? Are these the only ones? They're all along this road here. So we've got to try and press the attack. I think we've got the numbers. Our estimate is that he's 23,000. I don't know for sure that he's got that many. But let's go ahead and press this attack. We're going to start with the Tar Heel boys on the right. I'm going to push right up here to that spot there. Let's swing this cavalry around, see what we can spot. And then we'll push Thomas up. That's an ugly area to try and push Thomas up. So let's see if we can swing Cadwallader over a little bit further to the left and then bring Thomas that way. Alright, Tar Heel boys, let's do your thing. Wilmington Buffaloes are making first contact. Shures, what are you doing? Let's get up right on that creek side there. It gives a little bit of protection to anchor the brigade. We're shown as a minor defeat, and we're just now engaging. It's because his morale and his victory points, his objective points are so high. So we're going to have to change that in a hurry. Let's bring up the artillery as best we can. There's not a lot of clear area to put artillery over here. Alright, you don't have to evade anymore. I just pulling the skirmishers back. We've got Enfields over there. Alright, let's see what happens when we get everybody pushed up here. It's back to indecisive, so that's good news. Dismount the cav. Got to get them moved up. They're not in range. Let's try and hit that battery with our small arms fire. Alright, we're going to keep pushing here with Cadwallader. See if we can come up and take this objective. How's Gibbs doing with his calf? (18th North Carolina). Hopefully they can drive off this artillery. They are inflicting casualties. Gibbs is taking a lot of losses. We really got to push things on the other side as quick as we can. Alright, Thomas, let's push up. They are just out of range right here. Yeah, we're doing a good job. They're gonna get driven off pretty soon. We've lost less men than they have. A little more concerned about my calf. They've only inflicted 2 casualties. They must not be firing. Gotta get them closer. We gotta get Wool over here, more central. It's taking too long to issue orders on my left flank. Just can't get the guns anywhere that they can be used. Oh, this calf's taking a lot of casualties. There, we took out the battery. Alright, let's shift the 18th North Carolina over to try and help out right there. Keep pushing forward. Really didn't want them to go there. So the 18th North Carolina at Chancellorsville. Let's talk about that, because I believe that was the regiment that shot Stonewall Jackson at Chancellorsville. And it wasn't too far from where we are. It was up around here is where Jackson was shot. Yeah, cavalry finally broke. I'm not surprised by that. They were taking a lot of losses. Gotta pull the 18th North Carolina back. I need Thomas to push up some more. Cadwallader starting to. He's only got 1 brigade to deal with up there. Alright, the 18th got back successfully. We'll refuse that line on the right there. Is there anywhere we can put this artillery that we can actually use it? Maybe over here. Okay, pull your skirmishers in and then we'll redeploy them. How are the casualties looking? Oh boy, they've mounted up quite a bit since before, but twice the casualties in terms of percentage. Just got to watch his morale and his objectives. Cavalry is pretty much useless on this battlefield. Alright, there we go. 3-on-1. I like the odds. And once Wade's brigade collapses, he's got real trouble. And he'll know it. He just doesn't have the numbers to hold me. There we go. Rogers broke. Wade will follow. No way he holds against this. Oh, Williams is about to get a perk. We haven't gotten any units with perks yet. Alright, we're looking good. Dang, Wagner's been involved. Man, oh, he's got Sharp's rifles, that's why. They're firing a lot faster than the other units. There we go, Wade broke. Alright, let's push Cadwallader. He's probably going to realize what's happening and start to pull back the rest of his force in a minute, I would think. Alright, we did find a good spot for our 12-pounders to start firing. Push Thomas up again. Give these divisions attack AI, see how they do. Just let them do their own thing. Surprising this battle is still as indecisive as it's showing. The casualties are crazy high for him, 27% to my 7%. His morale's just now dropped to what mine is, and he's got those objective points, and that's why he's hanging on as long as he is. Who was wounded? Carl Schurz. Wow, of all the people, it's the one. It's in the one of the brigades that's least involved at the moment. We're running out of daylight. I'm hoping that he's going to pull back here. Not sure what they're doing here. All right, Blair, you can get involved too. Go ahead and attack. All divisions have orders to attack now. We'll just see how they do on their own. Things have actually quieted down a lot. I don't know why they're not pressing this attack more. Okay, we're running out of daylight. I'm going to issue assault orders. See if that'll get these guys to push this. There's not much left as far as the Confederate Army goes. There goes Thomas. leading with Stephen Weed's division, or brigade. That's the 155th Pennsylvania. Not sure why they don't have long-range orders. Here goes Carl Schurz's leaderless brigade. Martin's going to drive through that way. Cadwallader must not have received his orders yet. Man, the Confederate casualties are going to be ridiculous in this battle. They're up to 35%. Alright, Cadwallader, what are we waiting on over here, buddy? There we go. We've got a major victory now. Alright, nicely done. Things are going well in the east. Not so much in the west at the moment. That's about as well as one could hope for in a battle. 11,000 Confederate casualties, just 3,000 for me. And that was just my 5th Corps. That's not even my whole Army of the Potomac. Most of his army he's sent out to Tennessee to try and deal with my armies there, which has left Richmond really lightly defended at the moment. Okay, out west, we've got every army to safety now. Now we have to get into the process of rebuilding said armies. We're still waiting for the Mississippi Squadron to get those last few ships. 63% still, so it's taking forever to get those going. I'm going to send the Army of the West back where it's supposed to be, which is in the west. See if we can't put some pressure on Arkansas. Oh, they don't have food at the moment, so we've got to get them supplied. Let's go ahead and pull them all the way back to Cairo. Same with the Army of the Ohio. Let them really get refit. Their readiness is just completely destroyed. Do we have any supplies over here at all? We're going to have to build a supply depot in Cairo. I assume there would have been one, but I guess not. Alright, we've passed the Confiscation Act. That should help with our supply issues deep in enemy territory. We don't have what we need to be able to do further policies, so let's go ahead and go to finances. Raise our politics up to where we can do another policy. And then we're going to go for diplomacy too. That'll give us some new access to weapons for import. It's going to take a while now. Conscription introduced in the Confederacy. Interesting. Now we're going to see them start to really ramp up the size of their army. Man, we're just suffering horrible attrition. There's still food issues over here. And because the readiness is as low as it is, I can't even build a supply depot in Cairo. But man, I don't know why we're having such trouble getting food there. So it looks like the Confederates are building a supply depot over here in Hopkinsville. So we're going to go grab Hopkinsville. So we'll have all of Kentucky. Slavery prohibited in the territories. U.S. Congress to regulate slavery. So we're going to send Gouverneur Warren's 18th Corps over there to grab the last remaining territory in Kentucky. Oh no, I take that back. It looks like they also have Somerset. So we're going to have to take that. McClellan has taken Knoxville, which is in heavily pro-Union eastern Tennessee. We're going to need a supply depot there, too. Let's go ahead and start building one. Maybe. Yeah. So he's got serious issues with food and condition. Okay. Looks like he is laying siege to Fort Sumter, which he never actually took, by the way. Now that he passed his Conscription Act, he's starting to get a decent amount of men in his armies. We've got 2,000 men under Robert Anderson and 40 guns holding Fort Sumter right now. We're going to hang on to it as long as we possibly can. He's actually got several new corps that he's forming down there, and they're pretty decent size. I have a feeling they're going to come out east before too long. So we might want to make a push right now. Okay, we've got a battle at Hopkinsville, Kentucky, fighting over that supply depot that's being built. It's going to be between Grant's 47,000 men and an army under Joe Johnston that's about half that size, but I don't know if he's getting reinforcements or not. He was starting to send men up from Nashville, so we'll see. Okay, we've got a pretty significant advantage. Either one of our corps would probably be able to take on the rebels by themselves. Got a couple of units that are broken here. I'm not sure why. The Chattanooga Volunteers, well, they were the ones that were most recently just pretty much out of men. So it's going to take them some time to kind of get back into the swing of things. I'm going to keep my units in their double line formation just because we've got the advantage of numbers to be able to do that. We've got to get across this area here. In fact, I'm going to just send that entire corps under Warren up to here. And we're going to put Sumner. This might be a good opportunity to try the attack order for the AI. Go ahead and start moving the whole thing forward. Same with Warren. Let's give him attack orders. And let's see how our AI corps do in a battle where they've got 2-to-1 numbers. So I'm actually going to change Warren's orders. I'm going to send him to the south because they may be over here where this objective point is. We'll find out because we're going to send... Sumner's got separate orders that I shouldn't have given him. He should be following the orders for Gibbon's entire corps. So we'll send Gibbon all the way up to the river here. See if we can spot these guys. Okay, so they are coming down from right here. So Gibbon's going to get into an interesting situation here because he's going to be just crossing the river when he makes contact. It looks like the 20th Australian Brigade is going to make first contact near the Arsenal Road with some artillery that's coming in. So now we're going to once again redeploy Gouverneur Warren's corps back to this side. Hit him. Here comes his infantry. Alright, we took out that battery. Now we'll see how our AI corps commanders do against an inferior force. Hopefully Gibbon can get his force across the river. And we captured that battery. Looks like he may not be getting the whole thing across the river. Okay. We are getting units across the river. Looks like Gibbon's going to try to rush as many as he can over there. And they also grabbed those guns from that unit that we just wiped out. Trying to get those Australian boys across in time. Hancock needs to get his mighty special forces across too. Not sure what he's waiting on. So it looks like the Louisville Legion, 92nd Ohio Gordons, and the 4th Brigade coming up on the left. Let's see what Gibbon does here on the right. I don't know where the rest of the Confederates are. He's got 1 brigade and a battery here. Okay, Gibbon's launching his attack. Pushing forward with the Green Berets over here. Warren's still waiting, it looks like. I may actually give Warren assault orders to really push things. Let's go ahead and do that. We got these guys all messed up before they could even get into position. This is going to be a pretty quick battle, I think. Gibbon's redeploying now. Numbers are going to be really favorable for me. 37 lost to 800 for him. Alright, we're waiting to see if oh boy, look at this. How did he sneak in behind me over here? Alright, Sumner. We gotta redeploy Sumner over here. Although this battle may be over before they even get a chance to affect the outcome. I wondered why he had so few men over here. It's because he had his forces split. We gotta wait for Sumner to get his new orders and get moving back in this direction. Because I was in the process of moving him across the river. We're also waiting for Warren. He hasn't started his assault yet. Come on, Sumner, turn around. And it may not matter if we can push this a little bit more. Alright, Sumner's coming back now. Only 37 losses for me. We're going to run out of daylight, though, is the problem. Alright, 5th Brigade. Hit that battery. That's the Rock Bridge Artillery from the Army of the Shenandoah, which is all the way out here in the west. Fighting in Kentucky. Yeah, he's got at least 1 brigade here, maybe more. Come on, Warren, what's the deal over here? Assault. Okay, Sumner's getting back into position now. Who's this here? The Fighting Austrians. Easy to spot them on the battlefield with those white uniforms. Ruhr Valley Brigade coming in next to them. Must be our German division. I don't know why Ruhr Valley Brigade's facing that way. They're just taking on skirmishers right now. Alright, here comes Governor Warren's assault. Nice job, Austrians. Alright, I think we got this one in the bag. Which was a much needed victory in the West. Hopefully this gives us a chance to fix things a little bit, because our armies are in really poor supply. Especially over in Chara, where we're trying to build that supply depot. But this will buy us some time to do that. But I think it's going to be at least 1863 before we can make any major pushes back into Tennessee. The way things are going. Especially now that he's got the Conscription Act passed, we're going to start seeing him fielding some much bigger armies. Alright, nice. Good job, Grant. Okay, believe it or not, since he passed his Conscription Act, he now actually has a larger army in the field than I do. So we're going to have to start upping our recruiting game a little bit here. And I'm just curious to see what we've got in the way of recruits. See, we've only got 63,000 volunteers available. We're going to have to pass conscription as well. And that is right here, the Enrollment Act. It would be 76 days right now. The speed of replacements is the key thing there. So we're waiting. I didn't pass. I don't remember selecting letters of marque. So I don't know what that was about. That's why things were going so slow. I'm actually going to... I'm going to cancel work on diplomacy because we've got to get the Enrollment Act going. So it's going to take 35 days to do that because we're going to need those men to keep up with the Confederates. But that will be for another day. I'm going to stop right there. Let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below. A couple of one-sided battles, but that's not going to last because now that he has his Enrollment Act, his forces are going to start really getting built up. We're going to see much bigger Confederate armies in the field, and because of our issues over here with places like the Army of the West, the Army of the Ohio, we have to really start working on our infrastructure and supply so that we can really start taking the fight to him in the West. But that'll be for next time. Thanks for watching.